many of you joining here, you're already at the ends of the day. But yeah, it's so nice that I can now introduce Mona Zoet. She has been the inspirer behind this event today with RegPac Revolution out of Singapore, supporting so many companies to go into Asia and actually binding us all together in the RegTech industry. So I think there's a lot of flowers that should come to your end, Mona. And with that, I'd like to conclude my role as kind of a moderator between different sessions. I really enjoyed the conversations, and I cannot wait to have more conversations because RegTech keeps on going. Mona, up to you.
Great, thank you very much, Koen, and of course the rest of the team as well. I don't know why, because it's probably already 6:30 in Singapore. That's why our RegPac logo all of a sudden is upside down. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's the end of the day here. Yeah, so I'm super glad that we did this. I mean, we pulled it off. We already wanted to do this for a long time, but you know, like Ed has mentioned, by different sessions, RegTech is still relatively in its early stage. And although we see a big difference in, if you compare it with a few years ago, it is definitely still far away from perfect. But of course, it cannot be perfect because the industry is changing quite a bit as well, and technology is evolving, and with evolving it means, of course, it is not perfect. So I'm not going to, of course, keep you guys much longer because it was a long day for everybody, and I'm very glad that everybody could join. I've seen that the networking had been done. We have had great conversations with different groups and different industries. What was all about it today as well, not only regulatory technology in the financial sphere, but also beyond the financial sphere. So it's a great discussion in the healthcare sector and the cybersecurity. I've heard quite a bit about sustainability and regulation and where the challenges are and where the adoption is. And of course, in the legal tech, and a very good presentation about, you know, how the industry is evolving and how RegTech can actually really become a benefit, and already is in a certain way as well, not only for the lawyers, but actually also beyond the lawyers. And I think, you know, I'm just going to quote a couple of things that I've heard today, but really, you know, resonated with me at least, and I hope with you guys as well. So in the beginning, we, especially with culture and conduct session, I think the biggest thing, what I found very interesting was the statement that actually we have too much regulation and we should not have any regulation at all, but we should actually change our behavior by ourselves and with self-regulation. And I can really tap into that, although we know the financial crisis has happened already more than 10 years ago. And we know that from that came a lot of regulation, but aren't we getting so fed up with and the change in regulation and what we need to do from a regulatory perspective, what the regulator wants us to update them on, and the granularity of the data that also has been discussed, that is really, of course, a little bit tiring as well. So I found it a very interesting statement. No regulation, just self-regulate. That was one of the few. Then, of course, rubbish in, rubbish out. That was from the sustainability group. I loved it because it is true. I mean, I think people just don't, we talk about big data. We talk about big data that, you know, we can't encompass as human beings anymore. But, you know, it is there. I mean, data has evolved as well. And how are you going to go about it? Well, you can say, yeah, let's use nice tech and put some data in, but of course it doesn't work that simply. And if it is not great data, then you won't get a great solution or the great data out again as well. So I was very, and of course that phrase has then been used for a couple of times as well. I thought the vendor management, vendor challenges panel was actually quite interesting because we got quite a few different views from different panelists around the globe, which was really great, and also from large incumbents view as well as the RegTech companies. I think collaboration was key there, of course. And we should not reinvent the wheel, I guess, with regard to, you know, selling into big companies. I mean, you as a startup need to be able to actually know what the large incumbent or what the buyer actually needs. And you need to do due diligence for that as well. Should we have some standardized requirements? Should we have a platform where we can go to that you are a curated company that has done XYZ requirements so that you can actually sell into the buyer? Yeah, probably we should, and we should maybe look into that. And I know that companies are looking into that. I know there are marketplaces being built. So it probably gradually will come, and we should definitely go into that area. But there are also other options, what David Bundy just explained in the last chat as well. So the last chat, the future of RegTech, and then I take Dino with us as well, because he's actually, his presentation is little bit about the future, right? The digital assets and what it can do for us. I think super interesting what's happening. Although, I mean, maybe COVID has accelerated at least digitalization more than we would have expected a year ago. But I think from my personal perspective, we could do much more. I do think there are still quite some silo departments, and we should go into ecosystems. We should go into interoperability, has been discussed quite a bit as well. We should make sure that we're trustworthy, especially when you are in the startup environment. And what Edgar also said very well, I think, is it is not only about that discussion of the small companies that are not trustworthy and that is then also related to RegTech the whole time. No, why can't it happen in a bigger company? Why is RegTech not totally adopted in bigger companies? Why is that concept still not really there yet? So I think, summarizing everything, I had a blast of a day. I'm very glad that we had all those great speakers. I will definitely want to thank Koen for helping out. I will definitely want to thank AJ for helping out this morning, because, you know, we are a startup, we are a small team. My team has been working 24/7, so thank you, Austin, thank you, Gurmit, thank you, Maarten, and thank you, Joel, of course. And guys, I give you your evening, morning, afternoon free for the rest. Thank you for attending. We keep in touch, and bye-bye.